All right, Dak, can you hear me?
No, no,
Can't hear me at
no.
all. Damn it. We got to cancel the
Yeah,
space.
it's over. It's so over.
Yep, it's all over. We're
It's all
done.
over the place. How are we gonna eat it all?
You mean all that pizza? Oh, we always find a way.
All that cake fit?
Oh, the cake fit. Unfortunately, we always find
Oh
a way.
yeah. I like how we justified it. So for those that don't know, cake fit's like quote unquote healthy dessert that we kept getting in Panama. And we got, oh my God, we must have spent at least like 2 grand on cake fit over this course of 6 months.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Yeah, there was that one time we ate so much cake fit, we all instantly went down to the gym, and you were just like running on the elliptical or something, and you were just going so fast. You're like, I need to burn this all off. We just ate too much.
yeah, that was a disgusting amount. Just another day.
Those dark, dark days. Just dark, dark days in the life. Hey, Dale?
Dude, now it's not even cake fit. It's just straight up like Oreo cheesecakes.
Yeah, we've been bad. Don't tell your brother.
Oh my God. For those that don't know, my brother is Dakota's personal trainer, so he can't know about the Oreo cheesecakes.
uh,
Oh God. That's so funny. You know, at first when I started this space and it was just me and Dak in here, I was like, I guess Dak and I are just hanging out for an hour. It's gonna be fun. We're just gonna shoot the shit, catch up.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
But yeah, guys, let's dive in. So Dak, appreciate you being here. Dale, I know you're super busy with the launch and everything, so appreciate you being here too. Today we are going to talk about how to attract leads as a small audience. Basically, get leads and make money.
Get that paper.
Something that yes, exactly. How to get the paper. We might go a little off topic and talk about psychedelics or something. We tend to do
Fucking
that.
drug addict.
Might also talk about Dakota's pineapple pizza fetish. He says it's like a thing. I'm pretty sure it's a fetish at this point.
You know what's funny? I eat it like once a year, like 2 times a year. I just talk about it just because I think it's hilarious. I love pineapple pizza, but it's just funny that people have this idea of me. I'm fucking obsessed with it, but I eat it like 2 times a year. That's the big
Bro, you
secret.
gotta
Yeah.
you gotta step up those numbers, bro.
Yeah, yeah. But welcome
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah, we're gonna turn you into lead machines that just make it rain from the sky with money. You're gonna make $1 million a day after this space. That's an absolute guarantee. You can peg that to Talon if the FTC ask you who made that guarantee. Just kidding, but yeah, I'm stoked to be
Yeah.
here.
Completely unconditional guarantee. If you don't make $1 million in the next 3 days, all your money back.
Yeah, all your money back you paid for this space.
All your attention back.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, guys, let's kick it off because I know for me, especially when I was learning content, there was a lot of courses and things that people were sharing online about how to write viral content or how to create persuasive content, but no one was really talking about how to get leads with content. And my theory is that most people just don't know how to get leads. Dak, is this a confirmed theory? Is that why no one talks about getting leads on the
Yeah,
timeline?
I think, well, it's like easy to, get followers, get likes and engagement, all of that. Well, like relatively easy, but it's a whole different ball game to, actually get clients, attract clients with content and overall just, get results from 'em. So I think, people have this measurement of success that's a little bit skewed in my opinion, but I mean, I used to measure it that way too, but yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll also say that it can be tough because, to everyone's credit, you don't actually know what gets leads because you can go on social media and you can see, oh, this got a lot of likes, this got a lot of retweets, and then you can try to deconstruct it. Like, why did it work so well? We have no idea what's actually getting leads for other creators. Like, I don't know what brought in a lot of leads for Dak during like the full stack launch or when Dan Coe does his launches or anything like that. Like, we just don't know. So it's a lot harder for people to deconstruct it. So what we wanted to talk about today was, after us doing so many launches, I think Dak's launch growth goes 3 times. He just did full stack creator last week. Dale and I have launched digital identity. We did 2 launches of that and a community offer for micro creators, and now we're doing micro writer. We have a pretty good idea at this point of what attracts leads for ourselves and for our clients. So to kick it off, the first thing that I'm going to say, and we'll go back and forth between the three of us here, is you just cannot get leads without social proof. Like that is the number one thing. And the amount of times that a creator comes to me, and it doesn't matter if they're small, large creator, they could have like 1,000 followers. They'll usually be like, I want to get a ghostwriting client. How do I land a ghostwriting client in the next 30 days? I'm like, okay, well, what results have you gotten? Like, whose account have you grown? They're like, no one's. I'm like, well, what have you written that's gone viral? Nothing. How long have you been writing on social media? 2 weeks. I'm like, dude, we can't get you leads. Like no one's gonna want to buy that service. You need social proof first, which is why when I started, I worked for free for other ghostwriters for months and months and months, just writing 2 threads a day, which was excruciating. It was really painful. But I did that in order to get social proof that I could actually write viral content, that I could get results. And then when I was reaching out to get leads or I was talking to clients on sales calls, it was a lot easier to close them because I had social proof. So for me, the first big tip is that you do not need followers, but you do need social proof. So, Dak, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you really need to turn yourself into your first case study with whatever you're doing. Like I see Nick in here, he's a fit motherfucker. He's also a personal trainer. And that definitely helps him getting clients because if you're a fat personal trainer, like good luck, right? So yeah, I think you need to go in with the right expectations, and it's okay if you don't have results at the start. You don't have experience working with clients, but you got to understand you have to make it as appealing as possible for somebody to sign on with your service, and that's probably going to mean working for free, like Talon, or working for a low amount, and really just getting your feet wet. And I think a lot of people want to avoid this step, um, but if you got to think about it from the frame of someone else. If you have no experience, then you're kind of a liability. Like they don't know if it's going to work. They're going to put time, energy into working with you, and they don't know if they're going to get results. So you got to make that as appealing as possible. So working for free reduces the risk on their part. You can also, like when I was starting out as a ghostwriter, I said, "Hey, I wrote a bunch of content for you. You can have it for free. If it doesn't do well, I will pay you $50." So that's also enticing too. You're actually putting money on the line because you're so confident in the result you'll produce for somebody. So doing that, just like getting whatever you can do, just getting experience, like getting that first client will change everything because then you can get results for them. And then you can leverage those results to get more clients and all that. And so on and so forth.
Dude, I completely agree with all of that. And also, like, funny enough, Dak was talking about Nick in here. I see there's multiple Nicks, but we're talking about Nick Smoot or Smoot. I'm not sure how to say his last name. In the bottom left
The
corner here,
handsome
or now
looking
he's in the
one.
middle. Oof. Nick Huno. I guess there's a. It's okay. We know. I don't know Nick Smoot, but I do know Nick Huno, so he's a beauty. But I'm looking at Nick right now, the fitness coach, and I'm gonna see this banner is literally just a bunch of social proof. I'm like, that's awesome. Like for his type of offer to show, like, yes, I've helped all these clients. Like
No,
that is freaking
he's just
badass.
super gay
Dakota's
and he
just
likes
laughing.
having pictures of half naked men on his banner.
I misread the whole
Yeah, no,
thing
no,
then.
no, no. Nick's super gay, bro. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Oh
kidding.
my God.
Uh,
I was like, man, maybe you've met him. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's not a fitness coach at all. Uh, So yeah, having a bunch of like social proof just plastered like that, that's really good. I think it was to really reiterate this, Dakota, wasn't it Daniel Fazio that said that the highest converting landing page he ever had was just an infinite scroll of social
yeah, I
proof?
believe so. It's funny because if you guys know what social proof is, I'm sure there's maybe one in here or a couple. Social proof is just um like testimonials, case studies, anything showing you've gotten results for other people. But yeah, Daniel did say that it was just a big wall of social proof that went on endlessly.
Yeah, it's true. And to go to iterate on Dak's point here too, talking about, social proof is it's a little bit different depending on what your offer is. Like some people still find traditional credentials really viable. And I would say the people that I see crushing it in the psychology space tend to actually have some type of like master's in psychology or a PhD. So to most people, the credentials won't matter, but to a lot of people in certain fields, they will. So you have to identify for your offer that you have, what does your audience see as credible? Is it like past results, like ghostwriting for fitness coaching? Is it, client transformations? If it's more like info, it's like showing that your members actually are able to get the results that you promise. But if it's like psychology, it might be like a PhD, and then you're attracting your own clients to a practice or something like that. But you have to figure out what's going to get your clients over the edge, what's going to make them more certain that you can help them, and you have to get that proof as fast as possible. That is more important than your follower count in the beginning, because your conversions are going to be so low and they're going to suck.
Yeah.
Like Dak, I'm sure you've seen this a million times, but the amount of people that are sending cold DMs, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and burning like hot leads when they have no social proof, it's like you're just not going to convert on a cold DM with no proof.
Yeah, it's like it really speaks to the power of building an audience. Like I think probably 80% of people in here are probably posting content, maybe 50. But really, that's the power of building an audience and learning to write online, is that people begin to know, like, and trust you. Like you guys, there's a lot of people, Talon, Dale, or I haven't spoken to in the space, but you guys know us to some degree. There's some level of trust and likability built because of content, right? And that's the power of writing online and building your personal brand, is that the people are just going to become to know and like and trusting you. And that's going to make it way easier if you do start a conversation in the DMs, or if you do put out an offer, people are going to be willing to buy it because there's that trust. But if you're somebody that's relying on cold DMs and sending that out, first of all, it takes a shit ton of time. It's really boring, it's really tedious, and it takes a lot of energy. And, I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather just write online over a longer period of time. Sure, do some DMs to get clients, but you think about the leverage you have once you do start building a following, it's going to multiply exponentially as it goes on. And then you don't have to send out 1,000 DMs a day, right? Yeah, sure, you're probably going to have to send out, dozens or however many a day to get clients at the start. But, once you build up your audience and you get people familiar with you, like, it's just a cheat code, right? So I think it really speaks to the power of brand. And I don't know about you, I don't know about you, Talon, but I was really shit at sales calls at the start. I still don't think I'm amazing, but the reason why I was able to
Yeah.
close people was because of brand. Is because they already knew me. They're already kind of bought in. Opposed to if somebody didn't have a brand, or you're pitching to somebody and they're a complete stranger, then it's going to be so much harder to close because there's no trust built up.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I'll tell you guys a sales fail that I had a little while ago, actually. Is I was on a call with a potential ghostwriting client. It's like a month ago. And I hadn't done sales calls for ghostwriting in quite a while, so I was a little rusty. And it hit the point where he goes, okay, what kind of results can we expect in the first month? And I kind of paused for a second. I'm like, well, most people on Twitter are kind of getting like this many followers, this many impressions. Like, yeah, you'll probably be like in that ballpark. And like immediately after I like finished my sentence, I could just tell that they were still so uncertain about the offer. And I'm like, wow, that was the dumbest answer I could have given. What I should have done is opened up my social proof folder of all my past client results and said, well, honestly, it's going to be results like this. And then just been like, this client got these results in his first 30 days. This client got this many followers and this many impressions. This client, this many followers, this many impressions. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And just shown like undeniable proof on the call. It's like, so like that's what we're getting for everybody else. And they're in similar niches to you. You can probably expect something like that. How does that sound? And they probably would have been like, okay. Like it just, that social proof even makes the sales calls way, way easier. Now, fortunately, I got kind of lucky and we still ended up signing the client, but it was on like a 30-day trial to test to see if we could get them results. And my gut reaction is saying that that tester was because I didn't create as much certainty on the sales call as I could have. So that's a big mistake that I've made.
Yeah, it's really like the transfer.
Dak, you got a big sales
Yeah,
call
it's like
one?
the transfer of belief, right? If it's such a weird one too, because you don't want to qualify yourself too much on the call. If you're like, oh yeah, this is what I've done and this is what I've done, like you can even like pin it back on them and like kind of do some sales call jujitsu and just kind of reframe it. It's like, look, man, like, this is kind of like SEO, right? Like you wouldn't expect you to go viral overnight or get a bunch of traffic overnight. It's the same thing with building your brand. So yeah, I could sit here and tell you you'll get 10K followers overnight like all these other people and not deliver. Or I could be like these other ghostwriters and get you really cheap followers that are low quality. But really, like, I don't like, dude, I don't take you as that kind of person that wants X, Y, or Z. So you can even reframe it too and do the verbal jujitsu there. But yeah, I think really just
Nice.
if you can handle that before the call and build that trust and you build that authority before the call, I think it makes it way smoother because then you're not wasting time like trying to qualify yourself and all this stuff. And like if you have that stuff on your landing page, you're constantly talking about in your content, you're constantly reinforcing that how to get results. You have that competency. I think it's really huge. And again, that speaks to growing an audience online and writing online because you can post once and you could have thousands of people see it. And you just think about that. If you do that over the course of a few months, you do that over the course of a year, a few years, think about the compounding effect that has and how many more sales you're going to get, how many more conversions, leads, all that stuff.
100%. 100%. Dale, I see you're still kicking around in here. You guys might not know, but Dale is my co-founder, does basically all of all the ghostwriting with me, all of like the personal branding and the content writing stuff. We've been working together since I first started writing on Twitter. And we have one client in particular that Dale is the only person who's ever ghost wrote for him to actually have like record breaking revenue months for this client. So he's like, dude, like I have to have Dale write my content because he just drives so much revenue for the company. Dale, when you're writing for him, what have you noticed as some of the big needle movers to attracting leads for his offer?
Yo, yeah, man. No, that's a good question. I mean, I think it's like a mix of trying to balance virality with lead generation. This actually works with this client's particular niche because he's in more of like the health niche. So when it comes to health, like it's actually kind of a hack, right? Like you can basically write content that is optimized for virality because everybody wants to be healthy, everybody wants to be fit, everybody wants to, prevent cancer and things like that, right? Or, longevity and biohacking is all really big right now, right? So it's about like hitting these topics that have like viral potential. And if you're not in the health niche, this is still possible just to go to like the most viral kind of point in your niche, but also just not like going viral for the sake of going viral. Like it's like you're kind of stacking um, social proof, like contrary opinions, just things that position you as an expert within these pieces of content slowly down the thread that are like letting people know like who you are as a person, what are your views, who have you worked with, things like that, just kind of showing your expertise in these pieces of content. Um, and doing, I guess, kind of what we call stealth selling, right? Where typically you'll like plug like a lead magnet. If you guys aren't familiar with a lead magnet, it's like, maybe like a free course, right? That somebody can sign up for, enter their email, things like that. Yeah, and essentially that creates sort of this funnel, right? That brings in customers that can be served, through email and things like that, right? The goal is you're getting these people off of social media and into your, I guess, your sales funnel. So you can probably touch on that a little bit, but yeah.
Real quick, I see DND, the guy with the robber's mask. But you know what? I'm going to tell you who the real robbers are. The people that are taking Talon and Dale up on their offer for micro writers. That's what, last day today? And last
Last
day to get
day.
in, and the people that are buying from him, they're fucking robbing Talon and Dale because the amount of value in it. The guy's last days for micro writer. It's going to show you how to write online and how to build an audience. Make sure you grab that, or just hate your life forever and live in regret. So just quick plug there. Yeah, but Talon,
Holy
I'll
fuck,
hand it
dude.
off to
I
you.
love doing spaces with you. It's so much fun. In the theme of this space, in that moment when Dak is like plugging something, which yes, we are going to drop a ton of value in this space, but we also do have a course that is closing today. Like doors are officially closing. But in the theme of this space, I'm going to just plug a bunch of social proof at the top instead of the link. Is right on brand with what we are talking about here. But yeah, Dale's right. We have at our agency 3 different types of frameworks that we typically use for lead gen content. And one of them is called stealth selling. The way we think about it is if you're just posting basically like links to an offer, like let's imagine you're a ghostwriter, you're just like, hey, like here's my results, like book a call. Like people just tune out of that stuff after a while because all that they see is like, oh, this guy's trying to sell me. This guy's trying to sell me. It's literally like running an ad. Because if you were to run a Facebook ad or a YouTube ad or something, you would actually want to do that. You want people to instantly know, like, hey, I'm interested. I'm going to watch this and click. Because if people who are uninterested click, then you're just blowing ad spend for no reason. So you need to be really targeted. But on like content, that's not really the case. If you're just posting that type of ad like content all the time, people just check out. So it doesn't work. So you have to do what's called stealth selling, which is identifying in the niche of ghostwriting, like what could I write that would go super viral, but still target the people that I want as clients. That's why you can't just write like whatever you want. You can't just go viral with like 10 documentaries that will change your life and then expect to get clients as a ghostwriter. Like you can, it does happen, but it's pretty rare. What you want to figure out is what would my ideal client be interested in that would go viral, and then I can write a thread on that and solve some problems, weave in some social proof. So instead of leading with the social proof becomes the evidence to back up the claims that you make in the thread, and then you plug your offer. So a specific example of this that I seen someone do really well was Tim and Fernando over at Thought Leader. They were driving traffic to their ghostwriting offer. And what they did is they did a viral thread on Naval and his wealth building techniques. And then obviously people who are interested in Naval are interested in personal brands, interested in business. There's probably going to be founders who are like, oh, I've read like Naval's book, like it's really good. They're reading the thread and all of a sudden it's like, hey, do you want to build a personal brand? Naval says that like personal brands are the future. Like we can do it for you. Here's our results and our social proof, like book a call here. And that's what Dale and I call stealth selling, where you're able to go viral and get a lot more traffic, but you're also able to get sales. It's just a lot of people don't know how to do it because they're just trying to go viral and they ignore the fact that the content still has to apply to their ideal customer. So, Dale, is that pretty on the money, or do you have anything else to add on that?
No, man, 100%. That checks out. Yeah, people are either trying to go viral or they're just trying to like sell, but they don't understand how to do both. So I think that's a really important distinction, right? Is you want to go viral or at least as viral as you can, but you don't want to just do it for the sake of going viral. You want to do it in the sphere of like what your ideal customers would be interested in. So like just like adjacent topics that they would enjoy.
Help me! Dale's got me locked in. Help me! I'm so excited.
Dakota's me and
Dale, what
Dakota
the
are like
fuck was
sitting in
that,
the same.
dude? That
Bro, shut up,
what?
dude.
Dude, what? That's so weird, man. You guys hear that? It's so weird.
Dude, I did, Dale. I don't know what you got going on over there, but you got someone over that sounds like Dakota, but it's obviously not Dakota because he's on our Twitter space. So I don't know what is happening.
Whoa,
This guy,
that's
man.
creepy. Fucking weirdo.
Some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, sorry guys. It's just my
Yeah.
my pet, I guess.
It's your pet Dakota. It's your pet parrot that talks like Dakota. Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah. To add one more point to what we were just talking about with the lead gen stuff is going like viral for the sake of going viral isn't bad either. Like if you're just trying to grow your account and you want to go viral with relevant topics to your niche or like your interests and stuff like that, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just if you only know how to write viral content and then you go to get leads and your viral content doesn't bring in any leads and your social proof content just looks like a bunch of ads, you're like, well, now I can't get any leads. It's like, well, you have to stealth sell. That's where maybe don't go as viral, but still write stuff that has some potential to do well in the timeline and attract leads. So, Dak, I'm curious if you'd add any nuance to
Yeah,
that.
I'll give you guys like a quick story here. So I don't know if you guys were on Instagram when all those animation trends were going on, where the black and white Dan Co style, and they're popping off like crazy and going super viral. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna hop on this trend. I'm gonna do the self-improvement guru voiceovers with an animation, and lo and behold, a lot of them went viral. I had one get 400,000 likes, not impressions. Another one did 50,000, 100,000, like just crazy numbers. And I was going super viral. I grew by like 40,000 followers in space of a month. And what happened was I didn't have a desire to keep creating that, viral content, and I stopped. And all the people that followed me for that type of content, well, it was like super broad self-improvement type people, and they had no interest in what I normally talked about on Instagram, which is like writing business, content, all of that. And so I just kept getting mass unfollows. My engagement rate went to shit. And what happens when the social media platforms see that your engagement rate is going down, it penalizes you even more. It's saying, oh, the people aren't interested in this content. Let's not show it to more people. So it really fucked my account on Instagram. And I've just been losing followers like every single day because of that. And that's been for like a year and a half straight, just losing straight followers because I was chasing the viral trends. And what you'll notice, I'm not going to name names, but there's people that will constantly create the viral content on Twitter where, like, this is Elon Musk, here's 7 lessons, or this is XYZ, here's 5 lessons. It's really broad and just super generic. And sure, yeah, it's going viral and it's attracting a generic audience. But what you'll notice, if you look at those people's pages, whenever they post about their niche, whether they post about their offer, anything about themselves, like a story or experience or anything like that, no one gives a fuck. So they're getting thousands of likes on these really generic threads. And I know one account's got like 35,000 followers. They're doing that strategy. Whenever they post about themselves, they get like 2 likes, 5 likes. It's because people don't give a fuck about you if you're just posting the viral, trendy stuff, because it's just super generic and you're attracting this broad audience. Opposed to if you have, if you actually create viral content, but it's more targeted toward your specific skill, your niche, then it's going to go a lot better because people have an interest in what you normally talk about. So you need to be really cautious of what trends you're chasing, and you ask yourself, okay, is this going to be good long term? Does this tie back to my niche? Because you can really fuck your account over if you do that. And yeah, I would just encourage you guys to check out the accounts whenever you see a viral post. Like, look at the content when they don't post about the viral stuff and just see how shitty the engagement is.
Yeah, yeah, it's actually hilarious. This is like such a funny, trite thing when it comes to lead gen, but you do just have to be an authority, and people have to associate you with that. Like, I think about it as a niche is a group of people, an offer is a transformation you provide to that group of people, and a brand is the associations that that people makes with you. So if that group of people, which is your niche, don't see you as an authority, then you don't have any brand. And these people that are going really viral, like the only associations that get built, because associations come with consistency of content over time or consistency of messaging over time, is, oh, I just see this person curating on other people, but you don't know anything about them. You don't know what skills they have, like if they're good at sales, if they're good at marketing, if they're getting results for their clients. Like, you have to be sharing those types of things to show that you're an authority. Will they go as viral? No. And this is what tricks a lot of people. They see content that doesn't go as viral and they think, well, no, it's flopping. It's not, it doesn't look good. I can't post that because like it isn't working as well. It's like, well, no, it's serving a different purpose. It's a different goal. The goal of it isn't to go giga viral. Like, giga viral stuff gets people to know that you exist. Authority content gets people to trust you and eventually buy from you. So you have to do both, and hope preferably as soon as possible. You got to start sharing those tips, your wins, and stuff like that, and finding really fun, interesting ways to do that. So, Dale or Dak, any of you guys got anything to add on that?
It's a fun and interesting way to do that is buying MicroWriter and learning how to do that in a way that works and is fun. And lo and behold, today is the last day you can sign up for MicroWriter and learn how to write micro content and have a macro impact. Oh, fuck, that's a banger tagline. Dude, you should use that.
I did.
Um,
Dale, didn't you write that somewhere?
It's literally in a
This just shows
tweet.
that Dak hasn't even read the
fuck.
sales page.
Shit. I thought your
Um,
tagline was MicroWriter, micro penis.
Yeah, that's the real tagline.
oh yeah, that's the one we
Uh-oh.
don't want anyone to know about.
No, I was kidding. But
Yeah, we're trying to
Yeah.
hide that. It's really a cope.
no, but for real, guys, if you guys want to learn to write, like I've seen their system, it's absolutely bonkers. And I mean, that's why you see Talon and Dale just killing it for the clients. And well, Dale doesn't write for himself; he writes for the clients a lot. So see, that's why you see Talen's account just blowing up. Dale's just chilling,
Yeah,
just hitting up
just chilling.
Latinas, spending all his
It's
time napping.
I'm the case study that no one knows about.
Yeah, that's true. Dale is the actual like best case study ever. And one day we'll share his story on the timeline because basically the story is Dale was working at Pepsi and he was going to college, and then Dakota started mentoring me, and I got really sick when I was writing for some ghostwriting clients, and it sucked, and I had to write all their content while I was unbearably sick in bed, and I hated it. And I was like, man, I need to either like build this business with someone or get like a team because I don't want to do this. And I texted my good friend Dale from high school while he was working at Pepsi, and I was like, yo, you want to meet at a Starbucks? And then I pitched him the craziest thing of all time. I said, do you want to drop out of college to write tweets?
Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, not exactly how it went, but like pretty close. It was like we met up at Starbucks and I'm like, yo, I'm doing this like Twitter ghostwriting thing. You want to like give it a try and help out? And he's like, this sounds really stupid because he's never written on Twitter.
Well, yeah,
And I was
it
like, I
was
swear to God, it makes money. I swear.
yeah, I was open-minded to it. I was just like, huh, like, because at the time, yeah, I was in school and I wanted to become a psychologist and all this stuff, and that was going to take me like 8 freaking years. And I'm like 28 at this point, so I'm like, the clock's ticking for me, right? And yeah, this was like, it sounded like an interesting idea. Um, that I don't know, it sounded pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, at the time, I was getting into writing with school, so I was like, "Fuck it, let's just try it out and see how it goes." Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, within 3 months, it was like basically quit my job, dropped out of school, moved to Panama City with these freaking guys. Was like just writing for like founders, writing for. I had basically no idea like about anything to do with business, like completely fresh to like entrepreneurship. Um, like VC funding, all this stuff, and I was basically like writing for founders, and learning this stuff on the fly, and learning to basically write viral content, learning to build personal brands, learning the ins and outs of each of these, different industries. I think at one point we wrote for somebody in SEO, and I absolutely hated that. But anyways, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is like you don't really need to be an expert in the beginning, right? Like you can learn this stuff within 2, 3, 4 months, and start to see results. And yeah, you can take your friends to the end game. Like your personal brand can not only just build like your life, but like build a team. So I don't know,
You
that's
heard
the
it here
advice.
first. Dale saying you will make $1 million within 1 month if you buy MicroWriter today. That is an absolute guarantee. You can let the FTC know about this. It's all approved. If you don't make $1 million within 1 month, you will get a complete refund plus $10,000. That is an absolute guarantee. I'm not bullshitting you at all. Just kidding. No, but for real, like I think it really speaks to, you know, growing your brand. Like you don't need to be a professional. Like Dale's a potato and he was able to do it. I mean, mind you, he worked a shit ton and he got results faster than most. But yeah, I mean, like I guess that's a good kind of point to touch on, actually writing. Like what do you guys think of when you're creating content to get leads? Like, what's your thought process? Do you have certain steps, a certain process? Uh, Maybe you just want to walk people through how to, think about creating that type of content.
Yeah, I actually think that a lot of lead gen content is really just creating certainty that you can help someone with a very specific problem. So I really love the framework that before you sit down to write leads or lead gen content, you have to think who's the one person that I'm targeting? What is one painful problem they have that my offer can solve? And then how can I just say I have this one offer that will solve those problems? So let's imagine that you're marketing to someone like cold. I'm just gonna pick like Jocko in here. Let's imagine Jocko's never heard of me before and he's just seeing this thread that I wrote for the first time. I might make some kind of claim like Dakota did once, like how I coached Talon Simmons to 40K per month to write tweets. If you want to make 10K per month as a ghostwriter, read this. And Jocko might be like, whoa, that's insane. Like, I can't believe he helped somebody else do it. And he's going to help me make 10K per month. I'm interested because I have a money problem. So then the hook would get him in. It's like a very specific problem, a very specific benefit that your offer is able to help with. So that's the first thing. And that goes back to like not just writing viral anything. It's making sure you're targeting something that your like customer actually really cares about. And then the goal of the thread is essentially to sell them before they hit the landing page, or to even better, to actually sell them. And this leads to a second type of lead gen content that Dale and I write. We covered stealth selling. The next one is what we call story selling. It's the transformation, because what you have to combat is skepticism. In this case of our example, Dakota just made a crazy claim, like I help someone make $40,000 in a month. Like that's very abnormal. So people's like bullshit radars are going to go off. They're like, he can't, like, this isn't real. He can't help me. So you have to convince them in a very short amount of time, this is real. I'm legit. And here's how I can help you. And that's what goes back to social proof again, what we talked about at the beginning. But you don't just want to have social proof, like, here's a win, because like that could have been photoshopped. The more proof you have and the more undeniable evidence you can share, the more that people are going to be like, okay, this is legit, and I have faith and certainty that this person can actually help me achieve this result. So in Dakota's thread that I love that he did on me, he basically is like, here's where Talon was when he started. And ideally, it would be the same place as the person you're targeting. So he said, I was a college teacher, I was broke, in a bunch of debt, like really struggling to make ends meet. And hopefully, like, I don't know Jocko's situation, but Jocko would read that and be like, oh my God, that's me. Like, I'm in a job that I don't like, and I don't make as much money as I like, and I maybe have a bit of debt that I don't want. And he connects with it, and it's relatable. So, relatable situation after the hook. This is a framework. For those that are taking notes, you could literally framework this out right now. So then after that, it's like, but what did he want? He wanted, and then list all the lifestyle benefits. He wanted like financial freedom. He wanted to be able to pay off his debt and like sleep well at night. He wanted like XYZ. So you call that out. And it's like, so here's how we did it. And then you want to show picture proof of all the transformations as you go through so that it combats the skepticism. Like, here was Talon's like content before I worked with him, and here was the after. See how like the after content is better? How do we do that? Here's the steps how, and you give away the strategy. You don't have to go like super detailed with this, but just give enough of the strategy. It's like, oh, clearly this guy knows what he's talking about. And then next again, it's like, so now we had to get him leads. So we created this story selling framework and then look at how it worked. And then on the back end, you can actually show a screenshot of like a conversation or a CRM with the leads. It's like, look at the leads that came in from this. And then we had to do this with the sales calls. And like, here's like apart from the script that we used. And like the more little nuggets like this that you put in there, the more people are going to be like, holy shit, like this is real. This, like, there's no way this could be fake. And this actually seems so legit. And then when they hit the landing page, they're pretty much ready to buy. So that's why I love story selling. As long as you're like providing a lot of proof and making it really real, and you've nailed the problem and the benefit that your customer actually wants, your chances of getting leads are a lot higher. So Dak, you're the one that actually wrote that thread. I'll see if I can find it right now and pin it. Any other thoughts on it?
I mean, like at the end of the day, it's really just shifting beliefs and making people believe in you as, the person running the offer. They got to believe in the opportunity that, there's actually a benefit to this offer. And then they got to believe in themselves that they can do it. Those are really like the three beliefs you have to change in somebody or really instill. So if you just really think about it from that angle, it becomes more clear what you need to talk about, how you need to present yourself, present the offer. And, again, it just comes down to trust. And that's why, having social proof is a form of trust. Having a personal brand is a form of trust if done right. Um, and you really just need to make the people believe in those three things. And another thing too, one thing I'm learning more and more, is you don't have to be super tactical with all of your content to get people to trust you. Like I think Dan Coe is a great example. He doesn't really go into tactical stuff that much. He talks about his way and his way of doing things, and what the old way is and why that doesn't work, but he's not really sharing like step by step how to's. And he's grown like crazy. He makes millions of dollars a year. Well, it's because he's shifting beliefs, and what he's selling is the solution. Like, hey, if you're bought into my belief system and you want to achieve this outcome that I talk about, then buy this product or buy this cohort or program, whatever. So there's different ways to instill belief, but I think there's a hybrid approach. There's people that say never give value, quote unquote, and don't show how to do it and all of that. But I see people making 100K a month saying that, like, don't give away everything, like, don't share value. And then look at the people making a million a month, 900K a month, 500K a month, and they're saying, yeah, I just give away everything. And, it just gets me a bunch of leads. Now, mind you, it's going to depend on, what audience you're trying to attract, what market you're in. But at the end of the day, I think it just really comes down to showing that you know what you're talking about and then changing people's beliefs.
Dude, I love that. That's a really good point. Reminds me of something that one of our copywriter friends say to us often. She'll read our emails sometimes or our newsletter. She goes, "I read your newsletter. You provided so much value, it made me sick. Why would you do that?" I'm like, okay, I get it. You're a copywriter. You want to give away the strategy and then sell the implementation, and it's pretty funny. I agree with that.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah,
definitely
that's
another
good.
framework is belief changing. And if you shift the belief and someone then believes that it's possible for them, then they're more likely to take action. So Dak, when you are doing the belief shifting stuff, how do you figure out what are the beliefs of my current target audience so that you then know where to like start, where you're starting at their belief and then you're going to shift them to a different belief?
This is my favorite topic as of late. So one thing that nobody does, I didn't do at the start, was they never talk to the people they're trying to help. So for my recent offer, I hopped on 20 calls with people and I just asked them questions. I was like, okay, what are your pain points? What are your desires? What have you tried in the past? Where are you looking to go? Like all that stuff. And I hopped on like 20, 30 minute calls with all those people, and I just recorded the calls, asked them the same questions so I'd find patterns. And I just got a good understanding of what people were looking for and what they liked and didn't like. And then I used that with my content. I used that with my marketing, and I used that with how I structured my offer. And nobody really does that. They don't hop on calls with who they're trying to help. They don't, actually ask people what they want. And it's pretty funny because it's like the bell curve meme, right? So many people are in the middle, like, oh, I gotta do X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy on the left, the dumbass, is like, oh, just hop on calls and ask people what they want. And then the Jedi Master on the right, is just, oh, just hop on calls and ask people what they want. It's so fucking simple, but nobody does this. We're like, oh, I don't want to hop on 20 calls or 30 calls. I actually posted about this in a newsletter or something. I think it was a newsletter. And some guy's like, well, like, I'm an introvert and like, you know, I don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you don't want to do it, fine. But if you want to make sales, you actually want to give a great experience to who you're trying to help. Like, you need to fucking get on calls with people and just actually understand what do they want? What are their struggles? What are their pain points? What are their desires? And I guarantee if you hop on 20 to 30 calls with your target market, you're going to have a good idea of what they want. And you're not going to be in this limbo stage of like, what do I post about? What angle do I take with my marketing? And like, it's just that simple. So do that. Okay. But for me, I like to think about what is the average thing? What's the common beliefs in my industry, and how can I go against the grain and present my opportunity as, something better, like position myself as different. And so, like, I'll give you an example. I'm in the personal branding space and writing, creator, whatever the fuck. And you hear the term "you are the niche." Now that's becoming a lot more popular. And then you hear the term "you need to niche down." And so I called that out in a piece of content. I'm like, most creators hear these two pieces of advice, and which one do you choose? Both. and then I explain my way of doing things and how both of them are wrong on their own. But when you combine them together, it makes this new solution, and that's how I position myself. So you want to think about not just like saying I'm better, oh, here's why I'm better than most, but how do you position yourself is different. So like Talon and Dale, for example, they're not teaching writing, they're teaching micro writing. It's different. It's not like, oh, I'm going to teach you to write better. I'm going to teach you, they're teaching a system, a new system for doing this thing to get a specific outcome. And if you can just position yourself as different, you're going to get more attention, because what the brain does is it's a pattern recognizing machine. So if it sees the same thing over and over and over, it's just going to lump it in with a specific category. Oh, I've seen this before, I can ignore it. But if it sees something novel and new and different, your brain's like, wait, what the fuck? What is that? And then it starts to pay attention, and then you have the attention, and that's when you can make the conversion. But you really don't want to try to be better, you want to be different.
Dude, yeah.
I love everything that you just said there, Dak. Dale, did you have something you wanted to add?
No, I just thinking in terms of like Dak brings up something really important here, which is positioning. And like this is kind of getting into offers and things like that, but it all relates to, just driving leads, right? Because I find people will write, they'll be like, how do I write lead gen content? And then it's like, oh, you need to like know who you're targeting. And then all of a sudden their entire kind of offer comes into question because they realize they don't actually know who they're targeting. So you kind of like make them aware of like how weak their offer is by just trying to teach them like actually how to write lead gen content. And then it becomes like an offer conversation all of a sudden. And then an offer conversation becomes like, well, how are you actually different from everybody else? And this gets into positioning. And I'm curious, Tay, like you and I have had a lot of learnings about positioning lately. Do you want to talk about like how you think about positioning and like some of the recent learnings?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We were fortunate to like learn about positioning from
Grandpa
I already
from
know what
grandpa.
Dakota's thinking. I know why I
Missionary.
know why he's laughing. He's thinking of a different kind of positioning. Yeah, we did not learn about positioning in sex education, unfortunately. We had to learn it from business gurus. But the strategy, I actually love this strategy because it's like the idea that people think, oh, it's too saturated, or they'll say things like ghostwriting is too saturated, the market's too saturated. It's like, no, the market's not saturated. Like if there's a bunch of people selling offers in a particular niche, that means that there's demand. It just means that you have to be both better and different than your competitors. Or better, you can probably win if you're just better, but if you're better and different, then you can really win. So you need to stack skills to get into the top 10% of that particular niche. And then you have to find a way to position yourself to be different so you can win with like personality or a different offer or something that your competitors aren't doing. And that's exactly what positioning is. What are your competitors not doing? So you have to have like a good market pulse. So one way that you can do this is, let's say that you were going to create a writing product, or how Dale and I were looking at creating Micro Writer. We actually looked at Danco's 2 Hour Writer, Kieran Drew's High Impact Writing, Dickey and Cole's Ship 30, and we went through the landing pages and even talked to their customers. And we're like, hey, what are they not doing? And a lot of people said things like, hey, Danco's 2 Hour Writer was great. It got me started writing. And it like kind of cracked the belief that I wasn't able to write. But I don't feel like it actually helped me go viral. There wasn't any like, I couldn't send Dan my content for feedback and have him like reply. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So maybe it's more timeless and not like currently played to the meta. And then I talked to some people and they said, well, Kieran's high impact writing was really good on the fundamentals, but I don't get any coaching from him. Like I'd love for some review and some feedback. Like I'm the tips into action, but it's not working. I'm not getting any followers and I don't know why it's not working. And I can't talk to Kieran because he won't do calls or anything like that. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And then talked to some people about Ship 30 with Dickey and Cole, and they said, it was interesting to learn how to write like essays, but it wasn't really about specific content that I wanted to write online. There was nothing about branding. So I feel like I don't really know how to do this whole branding thing. So Dale and I were like, oh, that's really interesting. So we've looked at like what are the disadvantages of our competitors' offers. So we decided, all right, we're going to do the micro writer system. It's not a course. Everyone's taken enough courses. Let's do a system that they would actually follow step by step to get results. Let's also offer like a mastermind. So if people want feedback while they're implementing the system, we can do that. And for people who don't want like more feedback on calls, let's also include a community with MicroWriter so people can send us their content and we can give them text feedback. So that solves that problem. And let's make sure that MicroWriter actually works to grow on Twitter right now, not a year ago, not 2 years ago, or not just timeless tips. And let's just give it an interesting name. We call it MicroWriter and let's put it out there. So that was how we thought about positioning was what are people not doing? And we figured that out by Dakota's tip, actually, which is we talked to their customers. So we not only talked to our own customers to see what they wanted, but we talked to other people's customers to see what they were unsatisfied with. And then that gave us a good idea how to position. And then going back to the lead gen content, you can use all that positioning when you do the offers or when you write the content. It's like, how is this different? Like, tell them the advantages that it is and the disadvantages of your competitors and how you solve it. There was one newsletter I even put out that was like, how is this different from all these people's stuff? And I was like, I'm a different person. Like, I used to be a teacher. Like, I've taught people for 7 years. I know how to make people learn quickly. So there's like one way people buy the coach, not the course. And then we just laid out all the advantages, kind of talked about how I may or may not have written a little bit of microwriter while I was microdosing LSD, but no one's ever noticed. So we'll just like gloss over that and just like some funny different shit like that. And you have like a good piece of lead gen content. So Dak, you got any other things to say on that?
All I gotta say is Grandpa taught you well. Just kidding.
He did, boy.
No, but also it's like, um, I guess the best positioning is really who you are to a certain degree. Like you obviously have to like back up what you say and all of that stuff. But if you build your brand online, humans are emotional and they get bought into the person, right? And so if someone's bought into you as a person, they already have that trust that you can get them from point A to point Z. And it's also like a moat, right? If you look at, Kanye West, he could fucking sell anything. He could say the most anti-Semitic shit and people will still love him and they'll still buy his stuff. And it's really because they're just bought into him as a person. And the same thing with, whatever cult like personality, they're just bought into the person. And that really speaks volumes to building a brand. Now, is it easy to get that status? Hell no. But, you can start the process and you can get, some degree of success in that direction if you start, building your audience online, you start writing, and it can completely change your life. It's crazy. Um, and it really speaks to like how everyday people are able to do this. Like you look at Talon or myself or Dale, we're just some dudes from Canada. We just started writing online just to see where it went. And lo and behold, now well, Dale and I are in Colombia right now. Dale's got some kind of weird sex slave in a cage. That's the what you keep hearing in the background. Talon's in what, Germany, or no, you're in the UK now. And we just like travel, we write about stuff. We ghostwrite for people and doing all these crazy things. And it's pretty cool. And a few years ago, we didn't have any experience with this stuff. So it's really accessible to everybody if you're willing to be consistent and just put your head down for a bit and go hard.
Dude, yeah,
So
that's
true, man.
there's actually a funny lesson in there about posting about like your lifestyle. Like I guess first I wanna double click on that personality thing as being like a point of positioning in your offer. Is like I think about it like let's take a look at like the therapist, like life coach kind of psychologist offer for a second. And you can like look at, there's all these, or I guess the typical version of a psychologist, like in my head, is like this old bald guy with glasses, like and a beard, right? And you see these guys on like let's say like Instagram or TikTok or Twitter. And the other day I saw this guy with the same offer. Like he kind of had this like therapist sort of life coaching offer. He posted about like therapy stuff, right? But he was this like long haired tattooed guy, and I'm just like, that's the guy I want to learn from, right? So I think it's just this like to me that's a good example of relating to different people and just kind of gravitating to who you would feel most comfortable learning from and just who you think like as well, right? But yeah, man, on the I don't remember what I was going to say before that actually. Oh yeah, something about lifestyle,
What
right?
you reminded me of, Dale, is just to like quickly iterate your point there is when people say like you are the niche, like I really think one truth in that is, you might not be the niche, but you are the positioning within the niche. Like that has always ring true for me is, you look at, Dak and I plus Kieran, Dickie and Cole and like Dan Co all do teach people how to write, but we're all very different people, like very different in a lot of different ways. Like we're similar in some ways too, but like those differences as you would get to know us or like read our content become so apparent, and that creates a part of the positioning where it's like who do you resonate with the most. So I think like, you can pick a niche and maybe you don't see it as you are the niche, you are definitely the positioning within the niche. And I think this leads into what Dale's about to say next.
Dude, yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a bit off topic of the positioning piece, but it kind of is on topic. When Dak was talking about like we're doing all this crazy shit, we're traveling and all this stuff. This was actually a big lesson that Jalen and I learned. Because I think we've been to a total of like 11 countries in the past 2 years. Like we've like eaten octopus in Spain, taken mushrooms in Spain, like just sitting in the Mediterranean Ocean, like on like a microdose of mushrooms that was not supposed to be more than a microdose, but then it was. Um, we've done like safaris in Africa. We've done all this like wild shit, but we don't really post about it on Talen's profile. And I think the reason is because we didn't want to like come off as these guys that are trying to like sell this lifestyle. Like I feel like there's all these gurus that are like posting photos with Lambos and stuff like that, and it just put it like such a bad taste in my mouth that I never wanted to be that guy. But then like I think it was when Kieran Drew like posted about his like he was gonna go travel and be a digital nomad for like 6 months. And these posts were going like pretty viral. And I was like, damn, we could have been doing this the whole time. Because it's not like we're gonna be these like fake guru guys. Like this is actually our life. And we should have just been like posting this stuff. So just a lesson for anybody else who's, not maybe not weaving enough lifestyle content into their mix. I would definitely do it, right? Because it just kind of signals to other people like if that you're living either the same life as them, so they relate to you, or you're living a life that they really, really want, so they look up to you, and that's like pretty critical, I think.
Yeah. Unlike Dakota, he lives a life that nobody wants, so he can't actually post about his lifestyle content. He has to keep that secret off the timeline.
Yeah, you guys don't want this life. Just being impeccably jacked, super tall, 6'5", handsome, and just having all these naked European supermodels in your DMs. It's really it's really rough out here. Not gonna lie.
It's exhausting. It's just absolutely exhausting.
uh,
But you know what, guys? We've talked a lot about lead gen, a little bit about offers and everything too. Why don't we open this up to a short Q&A, and then we're going to be doing a workshop on lead gen where we're going to get a lot more actionable than this in about 25 minutes. But if anyone has any questions about lead gen, request the mic. We'll see if we can answer any of those burning questions.
Talon, how can someone get access to the live workshop that you are conducting in 30 minutes?
I'm just gonna post it in
Let
the
me just
chat.
pin this in the chat. We're gonna pin it on the space.
Pin it.
Did you,
Oh
did
yeah.
you did you
Who
post the
wants to
link, or do
come
you want me to
on
post it?
up? Oh, what the fuck? We got some Derek Wrights. Dude, you got some crazy profile picture going on, man. I feel like I'm about to get probed if I let you on. Oh, shit.
Well, I just let him on,
Oh,
so good luck with
oh
that.
no. Oh no.
Oh God,
Oh, geez, Scoop.
not again.
Let's go.
Howdy ho. Hello, Derek. You may speak.
Yeah, GM, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
All right. My name is Derek. Yeah, I'm a writer, and yeah, I joined this space. This is my first time joining your space, so like I've been getting a lot here. So you just mentioned about legend. Like I would like to know more about that. Yes. Although I've been getting a lot here, and I have some other questions too. I'd like to ask about content writing, but can you give me a brief insight about the legend you talk about? So thank you.
Got you, bro. Got you. Did you have any questions or anything? If you did, I must have missed it.
Oh, yeah, I guess he was muted for you. I heard him. He was just asking you about content, like how you go about like I guess your process with writing content.
Yeah, so my process is split into a few different pieces. The first thing I like to do when I write content is just write for fun first and just ask myself questions. I do think the best content does come from questions and like actually seeking to understand something or to achieve like a specific outcome. Like questions are just curiosity in action. So you're asking yourself like, oh, what was like the most profound thing I've learned recently? What's a big problem of mine that I've solved? What is like so interesting? Why do I find this interesting? And you start with that, you get in these really interesting flows and you start to have a lot of fun. But I don't actually post all that stuff because not all of it's validated. And that's the step that I think a lot of people miss. They either skip this first step and they just write validated stuff that's similar to what they see on the timeline and they have no originality, or they just write the stuff that pops in their head, but they don't share like only the stuff that's a little bit more validated. They're just sharing like all the sporadic stuff that comes up. So I like to just write for fun first, exploring my curiosity, asking all these questions, and then look to see which of these is like validated or do I think is like a topic that people want to hear about. And then I'll like go through an editing process. I have in Micro Writer, we have this thing called micro writing, and it's all our 4 step like editing process of draft, simplify, clarify, flow. So it's sorry, 5 steps, and then emotionality. And then I run through that before I post it. And that typically is what it looks like. But I see you got your hand up. Did you have another question?
Yes, definitely. You say like if you're writing for a project or writing a content about a particular topic, it's like you just write something that definitely resonates with your audience. Yeah, to catch these people to read it, like the target audience who you are looking for, and the type of audience that you have. Basically, when you are embarking on a personal content. So, like, is there any strategies or like a ways whereby you can be able to craft out the type of audience that you have definitely, what works out for you on your page and what doesn't. So can you give a brief insight about that? Thank you.
Dak, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so were you asking like how to attract like your target
He's
audience?
he's asking, yeah, he's asking how to write content specifically for your target audience, I
Oh
think, right?
boy, oh boy. I got an answer for you. So, Derek, my man, what you're gonna do is you're going to do market research. You're going to get on calls. I'm going to sell like a broken record. Get on calls with people that fit your target audience. And the way you want to get people on calls, you can offer something valuable for free. A lot of people are just willing to hop on calls with people that they know. So if you know any friends or anyone in your circle that are willing to hop on a call with you, just a quick 5, 10, 15-minute call where you could just ask them about their pain points, ask them about their desires, ask them, things they've tried in the past to get the desired outcome that they wanted. But basically, just do market research, and you can also ask ChatGPT. You're like, hey, this is who I'm trying to attract. Can you come up with content ideas based on this kind of target avatar? Also, like getting in the comment sections of different YouTube videos. So, if you know what YouTube channels your target audience watches, you can look in the comments and you can often find information about questions they're asking you, like, how do I do this? Or what about that? And you can make content about that. There's really like a bunch of different ways, but the main thing I think about when I'm trying to create content is how do I become useful? And I think that's the number one thing people struggle with is they're not useful. They think they're the niche and they're talking about their passions, what they're interested in, and no one gives a fuck about you except Tail and Dale and I. We give a fuck about you. But at the end of the day, people are incentivized to do what's within their best interest, right? And so if you're not being useful in some way, then people aren't going to be that interested. And so at the start, I think especially you need to think about how do I position myself as the bridge between someone's pain points and someone's desires. And when you think about it from that frame, it's like, okay, well then how would I, depending on my niche, how would I help them with a specific problem they might have? How would I, change their thinking about a specific problem? Me, for example, I show people how to create content. I talk about, my thought process when it comes to creating lead generation content. I talk about branding, stuff like that. And every time I do that, I'm making myself a little bit useful to the person. And over time, you just build that level of trust until you make an ask. And then people are willing to buy from you because you've actually helped them along the way. So put simply, I just think about, okay, what are the problems they have? And then how do I help them in some small way?
Mic drop.
Let's go. I think
Yeah.
there's also like a two-pronged approach to this. Derek, go ahead though. You were gonna speak.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. When you say you upload some content like Dakota, I've been following your YouTube channel. Like I've watched your videos on how to set up profiles. Things to do about content and stuff like that. I didn't even like this is my first time seeing your X channel. So I have one more question before I go. So you guys should please pardon if I'm asking much question. I'm so sorry about that, but I'm kind of curious to know. So basically talked about deriving content ideas, from AI, like messaging your AI or ChatGPT that these are the kind of people you want to reach to, and this is what you want to sell to them or stuff like that. Like you kind of ask it about ideas. Is there anything like a kind of a definite it's not really definite, but a kind of prompt, like how you can prompt these? I know that there is how you can prompt your ChatGPT, you get better ideas and kind of better answers than normal question asking. So do you have any strategy of how to prompt your ChatGPT to get necessary details that kind of resonate with you on what you're looking for?
Uh, Honestly, I guess like to give you the simple answer. I mean, you said you watched my YouTube. Just watch the ChatGPT one. They'll go into depth. I don't want to go like too in the weeds with the ChatGPT stuff, just to, for the sake of time. But honestly, just watch that video and it'll give you everything you need. Um, cool. Let's get somebody else. Omer. Did we say that, or did I say that correctly, Omer?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear your sexy
You
voice.
can.
Yeah. So my question is about testimonials in ghostwriting. How do you essentially use them in the best way in your content and in your outreach? Because, it's like in the nature of ghostwriting that clients don't want to be exposed.
Yeah, this one's a little tricky. Um, I always ask my clients when we write for them if they're okay with us using them as testimonials. Some say yes, like others will say no, but if you can get some, then that's really good. Otherwise, just get screenshots of the metrics without giving away the client's information. And I have found that that has still worked pretty well. Now that Twitter has the premium analytics, you actually have to have access to like the back end dashboard to get a picture of it. And I find that can help combat some skepticism from potential clients. As for using the proof once you have it, I have found that using it as evidence works really well. So you can write a thread or a newsletter, make some kind of claim, and then say, here's some proof from a client that I helped to really drive that claim home that you're an expert. And then when you're doing DMs, if you're doing cold, what I like the Marcos Ruiz approach, where you just lead from like high frame and you're essentially like, hey man, last week or last month, I helped a client get this many results or this kind of results similar to your niche. Can also do the same for you in 30 days relevant. And you just lead with like insane value and then post a screenshot and see something like that is how I would go about, getting it and using it in multiple contexts. Dale or Dak, anything else?
Yeah, you just hit him with the sauce. You slide in the DMs. You're like, "Hey, motherfucker, you want you want to just you want to take your personal brand to the next level." No, but when it comes to testimonials, yeah, I had clients that just really didn't care. They're like, "Yeah, I'll give you a banger testimonial." The way I kind of worked around it when I was keeping their identities a secret was I would just copy or take a screenshot of the results I got, and then I would just do like kind of like a breakdown of how I got that result, or stuff like that, where it wasn't showing the identity but it was showing more of the result, because yeah, at the end of the day it's ghostwriting, and um you can't really reveal a lot of your clients identities, but like it really speaks to positioning. Once again, I didn't have people ask me for social proof because I just showed a shit ton on my landing page, just screenshots, not the people's identities. But also, growing my own personal brand, it just built my authority and positioned me as somebody that, like, where they knew I could get the result for myself. And so it was reasonable to assume I could get the result for them. So again, that speaks to becoming your own best case study. Um, I see that you write newsletters for entrepreneurs. So I mean, like, if you can get a lot of people on your newsletter and you'll get a specific result, dude, that's going to be huge for you because you can reveal your own identity and you can show people that you know how to actually get results because you've done it for yourself. So I think that that would be a huge thing for you. And even like offering your service for free to somebody if you could use them as a case study and then just getting them kick-ass results. Um, but yeah, that's my answer. Locking that in.
Thanks, man.
Locked in.
Thank you.
Got you, brother.
Yeah, I want to add that the hidden lead gen strategy for, I mean, I guess anybody, right? But especially ghostwriters, because of the aspect of not being able to out your clients, is relationships, right? It's networking. So it's having other people that have recognizable brands referring people to you, right? Because yeah, it's like there's so much skepticism in the industry, and there should be, right? Because technically, like, yeah, you could be posting like fake screenshots. So to to combat that skepticism, just start building a network of people who can vouch for you, who like know that you're actually a good writer and that you can deliver results. Sometimes that means joining communities and things like that, right? To have people teach you, and then like they kind of realize like, oh, this guy's actually really good. Like a lot of um people that like we've kind of hired internally within our agencies at times are people that we actually taught first. And I'm not saying that's like, something we can guarantee if you join a community or whatever, right? But it's kind of like the way that it happens a lot of the time. So, whether that's like joining something or whether that's just kind of building these relationships with people early. If you see your friends that are like building agencies, just kind of build these relationships as much as you can, because you never know when they'll come in handy for sure.
Yeah. I want to echo Dale's sentiment there. Like when we were growing in the beginning, the leads that we got from Dakota was how we were able to scale a lot of our revenue. And now we even still to this day get quite a bit of leads from Dak and from Marcos Ruiz and from other people. It's like we all just share leads, and it goes around, and whatever is left over does go to people that we have coached because we do have 10 or 15 of our people in our community that are trying to become ghostwriters and they're working really hard. And just last month, like Cheyenne was like, hey, I really want to get into ghostwriting. Dale and I just referred him to leads and he jumped to like 8K a month right there, just off of 2 leads. So referrals and access is like an absolute hack. Like I'll even take this one step further. If you guys want like another hack, I've only ever done this once, but it did work. Is because for ghostwriting in particular, it's usually founders and people in tech and stuff like that that want ghostwriters. I joined Greg Eisenberg's community to check it out, and then I was chatting with the admin. He goes, "Hey man, you've been in content for a while. Like I love seeing what you know on the marketing front. Can you do a presentation?" I was like, "Sure." So I put together this whole content marketing presentation for the founders in his community, and then afterwards, the founders were like, "Hey, man, like, I really love what you're doing. Would you be able to write for us? Or like, can we have a conversation? Like, our teams are great at ads, but they're not good at content." And I was like, damn, if you just join communities full of like tech founders and just start networking in there, I bet you'll land a couple clients. Like, it's the lead gen hack that no one talks about. So that's one that I would highly recommend to everybody. All right, looks like we might have time for one more question. Or Dak, did you have something you want to add?
Yeah, I have a question. How the fuck are you giving so much value for such a low price for MicroWriter? Oh my god. Holy oh my god. Tail and Dale, is this the last day to join MicroWriter? Oh my god, I better act now.
My god, Dakota, it is. It is the last day.
No, but for
I
real
totally
guys.
forgot.
How did you know?
For real guys though, if you guys wanted like a system for learning how to write, Tail and Dale, they launched their course today, or launched it a few days ago. Today's the last day to get in. So if you want a system, show you how to actually create content and build your brand, check it out. Quick plug.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
We're
you.
gonna
It's
just on the back of that before we. One second, Dale. Before we go into our last question, I see there's a bunch of requests in here, but we have two things pinned here at the top of this space. If you scroll to the right, we are doing a workshop on lead generation where we're actually going to dive a little bit deeper than we did today into like writing lead generation content. So if you scroll, there's a link to the calendar if you guys would like to join the workshop where we're going to get into the actual micro leads section of MicroWriter. There was no writing product that had lead gen in it that we could find. Going back to our positioning earlier. So Dale and I took our whole lead gen system and we put it into MicroWriter. It's called Micro Leads. So we're going to break that down in a workshop. You can click the link there. And then if you do want to check out MicroWriter, there's a link right at the top here. You can just click that. So sorry, Dale, you were saying something.
No, I was just gonna say I kind of cringe when I have to like self-promote, so I really appreciate Dak promoting for us. And then also heads up that webinar is literally in like 10 minutes as well. So just heads up on the timing on that. We're gonna dive right in.
They're gonna go
we have
all
time for
the
one
way
more
in.
question, then we got to workshop it up.
They're gonna go deep. They're gonna go deep
webinar.
on that webinar. So if you guys want to go deep, get on it.
Oh my God,
I can't
believe
I get paid for this shit. Like, this is why you guys need to build your personal brand. I can just talk bullshit. It just works out. A lot of people would probably think I'm a fucking idiot, but it's also just fun as hell. I could just screw around and just do whatever.
Dak, it's as you always say, you have to be just stupid enough to win in this space.
For real. For real.
I make more than my fucking professors back in college. And I just started. I was just fucking, I'm gonna write online. Fuck this woke shit. They got PhDs. Oh,
it's absolute insanity, man. I also gotta just say that someone in the chat asked if they should specialize or generalize, and I actually wrote specialize, and it auto-corrected to socialist, and I almost just replied socialist.
This is a communism space here.
As I like to say, it's specialized, generalized, jerk off guys.
That's the real funnel. You funnel them to your OnlyFans in the end.
That is the real path, you guys.
I swear.
Well, we got time for maybe one more question.
I'm not.
Sometimes.
I own it.
Dak's not even an adult yet.
Yeah, I'm 13 and a half.
Greg, I guess you'd be the next one up here, man. You get to close out this space. I apologize to everyone else who has a question, but if you join the workshop, we can handle it in the workshop. We can keep this going. Greg, what's up, man?
Yo, long time listener, first time caller. Thanks for having me on stage, boys. This has been a banger of a space. So yeah, I heard that there's this MicroWriter course or system. Sorry, excuse me. I'm looking on the website. So you have like the micro writing for attention, the micro ideas for like infinite ideas, the micro marketing to turn people into fans. Then you have like the long form and short form niche stuff, and you have micro audience like I can barely even get through there's all these bonus systems, and then I get access to the community, and there's like this guy with a purple background that looks kind of weird in some of the testimonials. So this is all included. So I guess my question is like, how do you afford to do this? And also, is there a micro penis module with Dakota? Thank you.
There is a guest master class with Dak for sure on micro penises, and then we're gonna do one on micro dosing as well for LSD. So it's micro everything, bro.
Thank you.
That's it.
And then there was silence.
Buy the system.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks. There is no guest master. Actually, wait. For the mastermind, there is a guest master class with Dakota. I had to think about that.
Yeah. So if you guys want to,
yes, for anyone who joins the
micro penis 101. What's her name's gonna have a fit
Yeah,
with
you
this
can
one
tell
if she hears about it. What was her name? The fucking Karen chick.
Oh,
dude.
dude, yeah, this
Oh,
almost turned into CZ 4.0, bro.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Uh,
It
I
does
remember
happen
her name was
sometimes.
Erica. Yeah,
oh yeah, Erica Schneider. Yeah, she loves me. She loves
she does.
us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. We definitely haven't had beef with her before.
It's like
No,
Definitely.
but
one sided.
just to no, but just to and on a serious note for people listening, like you see like the camaraderie that these guys have on stage, and like we're calling back on like some fun things we've had through the content game. Like I'm actually pretty impressed, Taylor, that you're like packaging the community in with the system, because having people to actually like hang out with and share ideas with and have memories with and trade like content structures and blah blah blah, like it's one thing to have access to like a really well orchestrated course that you can go through, but then to have other people that you can lean on and like because you mentioned like consistency and the long game and all that stuff, and that really is a huge part of building your brand, is like having people around you that you enjoy spending time with. So yeah, I think this looks awesome, dude.
Hey, thanks, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was fun. Building this one was like genuinely really fun. It was something that I'd wanted to do for a while. Go back to the teaching roots and just have some fun actually building something that is super useful, and I use it all the time. The thing that I use the most often, though, which Dale and I kind of forget to talk about sometimes, is we actually worked with someone to turn the entire system into custom GPTs, so that you could basically do everything with AI without like super crazy prompts. Because I actually hate using AI for that reason. I like if I have to prompt something a lot, I just like don't want to use it. I'd rather just write it. So working with someone to turn the whole system into, I think it was like 6 or 7 GPTs, has made my writing so much quicker and efficient. And that part would have only been possible like from building the system. We couldn't do the GPTs without building the system first. So it's been super fun. So appreciate the support, guys.
Talon, how can people get access to the upcoming workshop in like 2 minutes?
Yes, we got to hop onto the workshop in 2 minutes, guys. I'm going to just delete this first thing here. So at the very top, there's a link. It says Dale Perch replying to at TalonSimmonsCalendly.com. If you guys click on that link, you can join the workshop on Zoom. We'll be starting it in T-minus 2 minutes. So we'll give you guys a few minutes, and then we will see you over there.
The fuck?
Dale, Dak, any
Why don't you make that bell
closing
noise? Is that
remarks?
part of the? Can you just do that in here?
Is that
Yeah,
Oh
I
who
did.
did
yeah.
that?
I
Is
did.
that
I did
Greg?
that.
Greg?
Oh yeah.
Holy fuck.
That's
What the
too much
fuck?
Greg
power.
has all
It's
the hats.
crazy.
That one was not me, bro. That was
That was
not me.
me.
Oh
Yeah.
jeez.
Oh,
That's the blow.
Don't tell
you guys
don't tell
click.
Dakota where the
I'm
fucking
playing with the
sound
features
buttons
now.
are. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
Oh
thanks.
yeah, the
Thanks everybody.
soundboard.
It's been fun. Dude, that's too loud. Dude, that's
Sorry,
so loud.
Taylor.
Oh my gosh. We're ending this on a terrible note. All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will hopefully see some of you on the workshop. If not, we really appreciate you guys taking your time to hang out with us, listen to us, be kind of ridiculous, and talk about lead generation. This was a ton of fun. So appreciate all of you. We'll see some of you on the workshop, and have a great rest of your day. So peace.